Libra, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind these are general readings and they may not resonate for everyone. So take the messages that do, leave the rest behind, and check out your other placements because you may have messages there as well. Okay, we got one card falling out here. Change in the wind, never-ending story, and a change in the wind coming out as the energy for your week ahead. And we see a new life here. We'll love that card. But you know, that card does come with change. A new life starts with change, especially if there's been this never-ending story and a leg up. So I feel like you're going to be receiving some support this week. It's coming in the form of change, okay? Change to what? Change to a never-ending story. So there could be something that just, you know, you've been sitting in this energy for a long time, and it could be a limiting belief that you're holding. It could be part of a narrative that you're telling yourself over and over again, and suddenly it's going to shift. And I feel like it's going to shift suddenly. When I say suddenly, I feel like this is coming through because of seeds that have been planted long ago. And you're getting some support here towards this new life. And it's going to shift something in your own story that you tell yourself almost. This is a time that could be very, very interesting this week. I wonder if there's something coming up that has the potential to bring in this level of change for you. We are in the Lionsgate portal, so anything is possible right now. There is something, like I said, it could be something you're aware of, or it could be something that you're not aware of. You know, it could be the direction of some other force coming in here to shift your path. And it feels like sort of something, like I said, a seed that was planted in the past, something unseen, something unknown is coming in to sort of shift a very strong dynamic here for you. And it's going to bring about a brand new opportunity for you with that beautiful new life card. I love when that card comes up. It's so nice to see it because it really does mean that there is sort of a breath of fresh air or a new opportunity coming in, like spring. You know what I mean? Like it's this idea of shifting out of something that feels like a never-ending story and into something that feels brand new. But that is going to involve significant change, Libra. But you're going to get that support. There's support here with that leg up card. I feel like you're not, this is almost happening suddenly. And like I said, it's all moving because of something that's shifted already. This is shifting as a result. And it might not even be on your radar right now. You know, you might be sort of in the same pattern that you've been in, and all of a sudden something shifts. Let's jump into the tarot cards and see what this could be about. Okay, so the first message is one of Temperance. So really trusting the timing of these events and being patient and almost preparing for your freedom. I feel like you're going to be set free from something here, Libra. What is it? We got that 9 of Wands. So you're at the point in the journey where you might be having a hard time envisioning anything changing, and yet here it is. There's the 3 of Wands and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, King of Pentacles coming out in reverse. There's the Strength card in reverse. So that's the thing, right? Like it's very unexpected. I don't think that you expect this. There's energy around here that's very much mysterious. Look at all of these cards. Yes, High Priestess is on the bottom of the deck upright after a series of cards here in reverse. So really trusting your gut here, trusting that inner knowing, trusting that inner voice that's whispering to you, have faith that this is all about to change. You know, I feel like confidence is going to lift. I feel like inspiration is coming back. I feel like you're no longer going to be sabotaging yourself with stories of limits and stories of misfortune and stories of, well, this will never work because it's never worked out in the past. Why should it shift now? I feel like that's sort of the energy of this never-ending story card that we saw at the beginning, and it's sort of, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's something that we tell ourselves because we tend to believe that the past predicts the future, and it doesn't. It doesn't have to anyway. It can, but it doesn't have to. I feel like there is a shift in your perspective about this story that you may be, continually telling yourself about how things just aren't going to work out and how they never will, and that fear will always be ever present to block you. There is some linear thinking here that I think doesn't surrender to miracles, doesn't surrender to the unknown. And yet there's Temperance sort of guiding you towards that, saying, it takes time for water to move from one cup to the other. So don't doubt the timing of the support you're going to receive. It's going to come right when you need it. And I feel like this never-ending story is one that you may be telling yourself, Libra. We do that. We look at our past and we make judgments about it, and then we use those judgments to sort of predict the future based on the past. And then we sort of believe it's all set in stone, and I don't think it is for you here, Libra. I'm feeling like it's not set in stone. You may have a high degree of impatience right now, and your emotions might be right at the surface. Like you're just, if anyone even looks at you the wrong way this week, you might be ready to just bite their head off. And I think that comes from, almost like that energy of anticipation that can come, and we start to almost expect our reality to look a certain way. And I feel like that's all going out the window this week for you. I feel like you're about to experience something very transformative here, but only if you're able to sort of balance the material with the physical, or with the spiritual, excuse me. And that's going to be up to you. This might be a time where you actually need to open up and trust people, because holding on to these old stories is actually this never-ending story. And part of your story that I can see here is full of boundaries and sort of this idea that you're not trusting other people, or you're not trusting your experiences or your surroundings. And it's Knight of Rods in reverse can be very self-sabotaging. And so I feel like you're being guided to really shift your story that you tell yourself about. Let's see, what could this be about? It's definitely playing with your confidence. So you don't feel very confident to have a new beginning right now. And as I say that, we see the Fool in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse. So King of Swords in reverse is one of these, it's one of these Aquarius cards. But when it's in reverse, it's sort of, it can be very frightening energy to be in that the presence of this energy. Excuse me. The King of Swords in reverse can sort of be very detached from emotion, and very much just like I said, kind of explosive, but in a very calm way that can be very unsettling to be around. And I'm not saying that's you, but I feel like you have the potential right now to overwhelm other people with how you're thinking about things. Like you may need to really take that to heart, this idea of balancing the material world with the spiritual world. And right now it feels like the spiritual world is almost an afterthought at this second. It almost feels like your focus is solely on logic and material. And inside that dynamic, all you're finding is doubt, distrust, fear, the need for boundaries, and this idea that nothing is going to work out. Because if we're too logical and too material in our focus, we can end up focusing on lack by accident. And I say by accident because it might not be your intention to do that. It's not your intention to be afraid. It's not your intention to shut out the world. But it might be the outcome of this kind of thinking. You know what I mean? Like when and we get there. I mean, there's no judgment. We all get there. There are circumstances in our lives that can create this, and it's up to us to shift it mindfully and consciously, which is why the High Priestess is here on the bottom of the deck. And so that's going to be interesting for you, Libra, because, you know, sometimes I think about it all the way back to why were we born under a certain sign as our sun sign, right? And perhaps you were born under the sun sign or whichever placement of Libra because it's part of your karma to understand the world through more than just logic. And so you were given this assignment, if you will, to come here as an air sign, either sun, moon, or rising. Those are very, defining placements. And perhaps that was done exactly for this reason, so that you could expand beyond just that, and being a Libra is really about the we, like not just me, but we. The Libra sign is about bringing in this collaborative energy. And so it's very interesting to see the Ace of Swords as I'm chatting about this with you, because there is a need for a new perspective here. This never-ending story has to change. And you're going to get some support towards that. And that support may initially for you be one that you don't want to accept because you want to do this alone, or you keep telling yourself you have to do it alone and you're the only one who can do it for yourself. And that's not far from the truth, but there's no reason why we can't have support and why we can't have help. There is the need to let go of something here, Libra. It's blocking you. Right now, you might see everybody as your competition, as your competitors, as comparisons. And as you compare yourself to people, that is creating illusions about your own worth. So this is very interesting, very interesting. I feel like there is something on the horizon for you if you can shift that story that you're telling yourself. Let's see, what is the card? I keep forgetting this deck is massive for my hands. And it's not easy to shuffle. Okay, let's see. Grasshopper, take a leap of faith. Yes. Very interesting final message for you, Libra. Take a leap of faith and see what shifts. See what changes if you change the story that you're telling yourself. Because whatever you put in that mind of yours is going to be expressed in front of you. We have these minds that are able to hone in on anything we believe is true. And it's like our minds find evidence for these things. And then we think, oh, I was right. Like and it's like a reinforcement model that whatever you hold true will be true. So what do you hold true, Libra? That is the question. Take a leap of faith and see if shifting this never-ending story creates a new dynamic for you. What is your inner spiritual knowing about this versus your logic? I'm going to leave it at that. Very interesting. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, Libra. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care. Sending you so much love and light. And if this reading has resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you wish for a personal reading, you can find the link for that below. Okay, my friends, take care. See you again soon.